Hello and welcome into another edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Sammy Miller, alongside your broadcasters, Ian Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore. Guys, we are still on the road, this time at Stony Brook Field, the home of the Brewster Whitecaps, after last night's 5-2 loss against the Cotuit Kettleers. And usually we come on here and say the pitching was phenomenal. Well, it was for 5 innings last night because of Dylan Jacobs, but the rest of the time with the bullpen, they really did not step up. Dylan, what were you seeing from those arms on the mound?
There was so much pressure because it was a 0-0 game. Every run was so valued. And after Jacobs and Gonzalez, the Stetson guys, it got a little bit hairy with Leiter, then Ward and Orloff. Those 3 guys, they didn't have their best stuff that day. And eventually it cost the Firebirds the win last night.
And one player who had some offensive struggles in the beginning of the season was Eddie King Jr., but right now he looks like he's really hitting his stride. He had a run and 2 hits last night. So, Ian, what have you been seeing from the Louisville outfielder as of late?
Well, he just wasn't putting the ball in play a lot, Sammy, through his first 10 games of the season, and none of his hits last night were necessarily line drives smoked off the bat. He does have solid power, but he was just putting the ball in play, letting it find the gaps, and just using that speed to not only get on base, but steal a couple bags and show that when he does reach, he is dangerous and he can really get in the pitcher's head. So overall, just getting in front of the ball and swinging a little bit quicker, in my mind, is going to help out Eddie King a lot because he's doing a lot of things fundamentally right with his swing. It's just speeding it up is the next step, and if he can continue to do it, he can continue to get a hit pretty much every single night.
And today, starting on the mound for the Firebirds is George Mason's right-handed pitcher, Chad Gartland. And he had a lot of luck on this same exact field last week. He had a 5-inning shutout, not allowing any runs. Dylan, what are the keys to really replicating that performance today?
Yeah, when we watch Gartland pitch, you can kind of tell from the first inning on, does he get in that swing and miss with the forkball and the splitter, both diving down into the zone and into the dirt. If he's getting the swings, if he's getting the check swing calls, that's when you know he's going. Also, in his both appearances this year, 6 innings, no walks. Got to keep that up today.
And the last time the Brewster Whitecaps and the Orleans Firebirds faced off, it was an offensive beatdown by the Firebirds, winning 13-2 with 19 hits. Ian, what made the Orleans Firebirds so powerful in that performance?
Well, first of all, it was kind of a wonky game, right? The weather wasn't awesome. You know, they didn't go a full 9, but I would just say they were knocking on the door of greatness. There's really not a lot of things I can say outside of that. You beat Falmouth and you beat Brewster the first time here, and you had 4 runs off 8 or 9 hits, and it felt like something big was coming, and finally just the floodgates opened in that big win. So they were due, right? That's a baseball term that just everybody uses. They were due to have a big night like that, and the bullpen pitching wasn't fantastic for Brewster. I think that could be the same thing tonight. You know, who knows what you're going to do early on. Patrick Forbes, he'll probably go an inning or 2, and it's going to be a bullpen day for Jamie Shevchuk. A lot of different arms. You got to beat up on one of them just like you did in that last game.
And the Firebirds have had the Whitecaps number all season long. So needless to say, I wouldn't be surprised if these Whitecaps are even hungrier than usual to get the win today. Dylan, what should we be expecting from this team?
You should be expecting a Brewster team, like you said, that's hungry to win. You never want to lose 3 straight to a team, and that's what the Whitecaps, I should say, are in danger of doing. They're going to come out with their best. They're going to come out with a lot of power and a lot of hunger to get guys on base and take down the Firebirds for the first time this season.
And guys, you know what time it is. I need the keys to the game. Ian, you're up first.
In an East Division battle, things aren't going to break your way always. You don't know, especially against a Brewster team that's kind of slumping as of late. Could use a big win. Orleans has had a couple of heartbreakers in the last few. Just realize that you got full 9 innings to play and understand that you might not be able to beat down on Patrick Forbes, a really talented guy, but once it becomes a bullpen day and you see 2 or 3 different pitchers, kind of be calm, be comfortable, and realize that your time will come offensively because this bullpen has not been fantastic for Brewster.
Ian, I love it. Dylan, how about you? What's your key?
Mine is all about the running game. 2 stolen bases for the Birds last night. If they can get guys on base, take second, take third, and just use your aggressiveness on the base paths.
Well, it's going to be an exciting matchup. It's the 3rd time the Whitecaps are seeing the Firebirds, and stay tuned for a lot more on the Scorching Start.
All right, let's go to war, boys. You guys keep it out.
I'm now joined alongside Firebirds manager Kelly Nicholson. Now, Coach, not the night that we wanted last night, but Dylan Jacobs did have a strong 5 innings. How about the bullpen, though? What were you seeing from those arms?
Well, it was a night we wanted for 6 innings last night, Sammy. Jake threw the ball really well, and then Gonzo came in and threw the ball really well. I think we were tied going into the 7th, and tied going into the bottom of the 7th, right? And then Cam Leiter came out and made a really good hitter, Loma Vida from Cal, handled him brilliantly, right? Up to, I don't think he threw a pitch under 96. And we thought, yes, let's go, right? And then he just ran into some command issues. Once he got a ground ball to short, if Andy, that ball's hit 2 feet, to Andy's right, he probably catches that ball and we're 2 outs and nobody on. But it's baseball and, they got an infield single. And then once he went to the stretch, he struggled with command. And then Nate Ward, who we have all the confidence in the world in, came in and hey, got to tip your cap sometimes. If you asked him, I think he might have said he hung that breaking ball a little bit and guy hit it out and we got down 4-0. But on the other side of that, man, we did a good job coming back. Scored a couple runs, had a guy thrown out of the plate. And then even in the last inning with Eric Orloff out there, it was bases loaded, nobody out, and we managed to only give up 1 run. So before we left last night, I said, hey, think about what you guys did well tonight, man. There were a lot of positives in last night's game, and the best thing about last night is today. We get to play today on a beautiful day, and I don't think a lot of people thought we were going to play, and here we are on a bright, sunny day in Brewster.
Well, here we are. And speaking of the positive takeaways, Eddie King Jr. and Joe Oyama, they really were your offensive spark plugs. How important were they yesterday?
They were important because those guys they ran out to the mound last night were really good. The big lefty from Georgia Tech was perfect for 4, and then they brought the lefty in. I believe he was from Miami. He was very good. And then the guy that they brought in the last couple innings, Ruin, I think, R-U-E-N, I believe, didn't pitch as well as he pitched against us the first time, but hey, he's still good. So yeah, to see Joe do well, and I think he's hitting about 350 right now, and to see Eddie get a couple knocks, it was good. So more positives to build on for today.
And today, starting on the mound is Chad Gartland, the right-handed pitcher from George Mason. He had a lot of luck last time on this very field, the 5-inning shutout, which we'd be expecting from him today.
I would expect the same type of Chad Gartland, right? It's a firm fastball. It's good stuff. He's got good command, super competitive. So anytime we have Gardy out there, we expect good things to happen.
And the last time you faced the Brewster Whitecaps was a 13-2 win, put up 19 hits. So what parts of that game are you looking to replicate in today's game?
We'd love to put up 13 again, Sammy. It happens. We happened to do that against Brewster. We've had that happen a couple times to us this summer as well. Hopefully that's not going to happen tonight. We're not on the short end of that stick. So we expect a good ball game, a close ball game. Brewster's always good, and we always seem to have pretty good battles with them. So got a nice day and a little breezy. Try to make them hit the ball the right field and right center field. Keep it out of the tunnel to the left and see what happens. But I'm excited to play today. I'm glad that we're going to get this in because it's supposed to be a little weather maybe tomorrow, and then we're off on Thursday. We can't have a makeup game, so fortunate to play today.
I'm excited. It's a great day to have some baseball. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you, Sammy.
Hey, set the tone, boys. The hard knot life in the background, I don't know why, but I know it's never a hard knot life when Brendan Nordstrom is here on the Writers Report. And he's here once again as the scorching start continues. Brendan, hopefully it's not too tough a day today for Orleans.
Hopefully not. A couple close competitive games recently. I think they're ready to get back on the horse against Brewster.
The team that they've already beaten twice this season. Yesterday, though, not a win against a really strong Catuit team on the road, but didn't start necessarily bad. In a game at the final score only had 2 runs for Orleans. The pitching did everything it could to keep Orleans in the game, and that started with 5 really strong innings from the Stetson man, Dylan Jacobs.
Yeah, it was about the best I've seen Dylan Jacobs throw. He had every single thing working for him. He wasn't exactly getting the most swings and misses, the strikeout numbers, only 1 on his outing, but it was the weak contact, and that was working for him. I talked to him after the game, and he said that's the first time he's ever had a game where it's been a contact pitching kind of day, and it worked out for him, kept his pitch count low.
Kept it low. It's a good transition into the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about. Only 46 pitches in 5 innings. Only 9 pitches in the last 2 scoreless frames from Jacobs, but he was still pulled after 5 frames. I understand it's summer ball, but still kind of stunning.
Yeah, Jacobs had a fantastic outing. He had a 4-pitch 4th, a 5-pitch 5th. You can't really plan for that. Kelly Nicholson said that his plan was for Jacobs to go 5 hard stop, and then he was going to go to Gonzalez and then lighter. That was his plan no matter what, and I guess you can't really plan for 9 pitches across 2 innings, but, we have the gift of hindsight here, and, maybe Jacobs could have gone another, but it's about adapting for the future, and, hopefully now knows what he's capable of.
hindsight is perfect. Just like Orleans' record this season against Brewster, a couple wins last week, one here from Stony Brook, one dominant win from Orleans. The offense looked great in that series. Ever since, not so much. Not great yesterday against Catuit, nor on the road last Friday against Harwich. How does Orleans get back to swinging the bats effectively?
You know, it's no secret the offense was slow to start the year. It was really the main issue across that 5-game losing streak. And while the team has been more competitive in their losses, it's been the offense that's been a little bit slower. There was the 13-2 game in Brewster. There's the 5-4 game a couple of days ago, but you know, it's getting it consistent, and a lot of that comes with being patient, maybe taking a few pitches. They didn't record a single walk yesterday while striking out 12 times. So the Orleans Firebirds, you know, better at bats, and they were there's a perfect game going against them through the first 4 innings. So being able to control that and get some runners on base, or else you're not going to score, and that's as simple as the game of baseball is.
Another bullpen day, this time for Brewster. Hopefully Patrick Forbes isn't dealing like Cam Hill was yesterday, and Brendan lays out the key to the game for Orleans on the Writers Report. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back in just a few with the Scorching Start.
I'm now joined alongside Louisville outfielder Eddie King Jr. Now, of course, you guys didn't get the win last night, but you had a very strong night, a run and 2 hits. What were you seeing at bat?
Seeing everything, a lot of different pitches, but I tried to stay on the fastball. I ended up hitting some off-speed pitches, so it all worked out.
And recently, you've really been finding your groove at the plate. So how have you been feeling, and what type of adjustments have you been making?
I've been cutting my swing down a lot, trying to just stay simple. But I feel like I'm seeing the ball really well now, so that's a great thing.
It is a great thing, and it's a huge difference swing with a wooden bat. So are there certain things that you're changing about your swing because of the new bats?
I'm starting my swing a little earlier, so I guess the wood bat's a little bit heavier, but I mean it doesn't feel that way, but it probably is. So I've been starting a little earlier.
And the communication with you guys in the outfield has been a constant for you guys. It's always so strong. How important is that for this team?
Super important, because, I mean, you don't want guys running into each other, dropping balls, but it's super important. You have to communicate in the outfield.
And you guys have had a lot of success against Brewster so far, back-to-back wins. So what is the mindset getting into today's game?
Definitely get our 3rd win against them, I think. Yeah, so that's the mindset, yeah.
There we go. And do you have a key for today's game?
Score more runs than them.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and good luck today.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. Make sure you tune in at 5 o'clock when the Orleans Firebirds take on the Brewster Whitecaps.